Welcome to the Watering Hole. We're sitting down today with Mr. Stephen Wilson Jr.
Oh,
How are you doing today?
I'm doing very good, thank you.
Doing great. So we're playing. You're playing out here at Born and Raised today. What's it feel like to be in Pryor, Oklahoma today on this awesome?
It feels great. We've actually played in Oklahoma City last night. It was my first headlining show of my own in Oklahoma.
Wow,
in
awesome.
the great state of Oklahoma, and this will be my my second show of this weekend. So I've been in Oklahoma for a couple days, and the weather's been amazing. Yeah, you really can't. I like it, to be a little bit hot. Nothing too crazy, but this seems pretty manageable.
Yeah, it definitely could be a lot worse. It's been a lot worse before. Yeah, for sure. So where are you kind of based out of?
So I'm based out of, I guess you would say, Nashville, Tennessee. I live in Tennessee, like out west of Nashville a good bit. Mm-hmm. But I'm from Southern Indiana. That's where I was born and raised, and we're just right on the Kentucky line. And but I spent a lot of time in Tennessee as a kid because my mom lived in Tennessee my whole childhood. So nice. I've always kind of been a Southern Indiana, Tennessee, Kentucky, kind of that whole corridor was kind of my stomping grounds pretty much my whole life till this day. But I really got my start as a songwriter in Nashville. I actually went there to be a scientist. I went there to go to school.
Really?
Yeah, and I was a microbiologist and a chemist and a food scientist for quite some time. But I was always just incredibly fascinated with songwriting, and I knew it happened in Nashville, so I just wanted to be. I thought if I just moved near it, like maybe I could just figure out what's going on in there.
Yeah.
At least get close to it. And someone once said, if...
Sorry about that.
I did that.
We'll have to fire our sound guy.
Yeah.
No. But anyway, you want to hunt lions, go where the lions are, that whole kind of thing. So I just kind of got close to the lions and then eventually figured out kind of how they worked. And so that's where I based myself out of, even though I was a scientist for a long time there. That's what I did. And but I was always writing songs, and that's what I really wanted to be. It's what I really it's what kept me up all night was songwriting and songs, not so much science. I just was good at it. And so I've been based out of there, but I call Southern Indiana my home. That's that's my hometown, a little town called Seymour.
Wow. So where'd you go to school at for?
MTSU.
Okay.
And I studied abroad in Australia for a bit too, and that was where I graduated. So
what's the paste stuff that every Australian loves?
Oh, Vegemite or Marmite. Yeah.
Vegemite.
Yeah.
Did you dabble in the Vegemite?
Oh, of course. It's like orientation in the first week. They just want to look at your face when you eat it for the first time, because it's not great. It's very much an acquired taste.
What does it taste like?
It's kind of bitter and salty. At first, it just tastes like something to my taste buds when I first had it. I was like, it tastes like food that went bad, dude. So felt like something that I would have thrown away. It tasted like something that I would have thrown away. So
thank you to our sponsor Vegemite.
But honestly, it's supposed to be very good for you and got a lot of B vitamins, and I actually acquired a taste in small increments over time. But they love it over there.
Wow. So what was it like? I don't know if you were writing songs by then, but was it like writing songs in kind of like a different environment, like being in Australia?
Well, I was a secret songwriter then. Nobody knew I was a songwriter. I just would do it. It was like my own little secret hobby. Because I write all my lyrics first. And so, probably back then I was more of just writing poems all the time. So all my songs start as these sort of broken up poems, and then the music comes later. And so I was doing all that kind of clandestinely because I spent most of my time publicly in a laboratory working as a scientist and research and all that, and then would write songs in secret. And then eventually graduated from MTSU and started playing in indie rock bands and stuff like that, and did that while I was a scientist. And so I played a lot of shows as an indie rock, just as a guitar player, because I really fancied myself as in the beginning more of a guitar-centered musician.
Yeah.
And then that really changed quickly once I kind of got into songwriting more, and everything really became like the real White Buffalo was like the lyric and the idea, and the guitar really started to take more of a back seat. And even though it's very like up front in my music now, but you know, I had to kind of really focus on the song.
Yeah. Do you have when I listen to your music, I get a sense of like an influence from bluegrass music? Is there an influence from bluegrass in your music?
I wouldn't say bluegrass as much as I would say Jimmy Page and John Martin, who in a lot of their acoustic recordings, they really dive into the Celtic guitar playing sound. And I just love that. Like one of my favorite songs is like Over the Hills and Far Away, and there's just so many Zeppelin songs where he plays in these acoustic open tunings, and that just really intrigued me as just that sound. I don't know what it is, but really bluegrass is based off of that. Like if you go to Ireland and listen to pickers play in the pubs there, it sounds a lot like bluegrass music. You're gonna, you know, obviously they're telling their story and grassers tell theirs, but there's a big parallel there. So I feel like the bluegrassness probably comes more from the Jimmy Page-ness and John Martin.
That's interesting.
Who are honestly more like Celtic influence, which is the root of bluegrass.
Wow.
So
That's really
they're all Kentucky was all Irish and Scottish settlers that brought their music to the hills of Kentucky. And bluegrass was born from their music, really.
So, being like from kind of like a science laboratory background, and then also being very like, what's the word, like having a heavy art influence, obviously being a poem and songwriter. Do those two things clash together, or do they work in unison whenever you sit down to write and create this art?
No, they work in unison for me. Science is a big part of my process, I would say. I do a lot of research. That's how I figure out a lot of these songs. They come from the world, and as a scientist, I was a researcher. I'd have an idea and a hypothesis, and I'd have to go test it, and draw conclusions. You know, probably remember from school all that.
Yeah.
But a song idea is similar. I just have a way faster result, you know, with songwriting, because you know I can go up and play it in front of 2 people or 2,000 people. Now I'm an artist, which I would have never imagined.
Yeah.
But you know, I could test my product, or at least my idea, my hypothesis, pretty quickly, and I would glean these ideas from the field, try to get them from real life situations, and a lot of it came from my life. I just pulled from that and really kind of tested them in the field, which is like just literally playing them in front of people and get your results, and then go back and maybe tweak it here and there. And so I would say there are parallels, and the two, for me, have married each other and get along, I think. But I think a lot of people would be surprised that there's a lot of creativity in analysis, and there's a lot of analysis in creativity. I don't think the two are mutually exclusive.
Yeah.
Well, howdy, folks. Welcome down to Bad Brad's Barbecue. Hey, stop looking at Gus. Stop it. All right, folks, you see here, Jager's trying to throw some cornhole, and he just can't get her done.
I just cannot hit anything today.
I see that, Jager.
Man, you gotta have some Bad Brads. Play that crap when you're hungry.
Vernon always coming in clutch with the barbecue. Oh, yeah, look at that bite, folks. All right, Jager, let's see it. Look at that, right now.
Bad Brads, where you can't help but be good.
Like Jager said, folks, Bad Brad's Barbecue, where it's good to be bad.
Yeah, for sure.
I love the Bob Ross shirt, by the way. Are you
Thank you. He's painting the Golden Girls, by the way. I just want to clarify for all our confused viewers.
I love there's like a meme that goes around, and it's Bob Ross slapping his paintbrush. He's like, slap the devil out of it.
Yep. what you gotta do.
That's hilarious.
Heroes painting heroes.
That's great.
That's hilarious.
Has as far as like that side of art goes, like design, is there a lot of thought put into your like artwork for your music also?
Very much. Yeah, the
Okay.
video aesthetic. I've written all the treatments and really put a lot of thought into that, and all the artwork was really carefully crafted. There's a lot of glyphs in the art. I've always been fascinated by kind of primitive languages and hieroglyphics and glyph-based languages, where you can say a lot with just a little symbol. So, like all these symbols kind of speak about the whole record. Each song kind of has a glyph that basically is the thesis statement of the song.
Yeah.
And that's how, a lot of glyphs work. They tell these stories with just these very simple characters. And so there's a lot of that going on.
Yeah.
Right.
That's fascinating.
Thank
Well,
you.
Stephen, we really appreciate you sitting down and talking with
course.
us, and hopefully we can catch you down the road somewhere and we can do this again. We had a lot of fun,
Oh,
and I
thank
hope
you,
you
Rhett.
did as well. But
I did.
like I said, thank you so much for sitting down with us.
Thank you, Rhett. Thank you, Jagger, for your time.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
God bless you.